Hello, in this video I'll show you how you can install this new shading model that I created. I will leave a video that shows the shader's features in the description in case you want to check out what this shader can do first. Unfortunately, the process for installing a new shading model is a little complicated. You need to install Unreal Engine source code and build it yourself. In order to do that, you need to install two programs. The first one is Visual Studio. You probably already have it if you've worked with Unreal Engine or C++. I'm not going to cover how to install these programs, but I will leave this useful guide that shows how to install Visual Studio and configure it especially for Unreal Engine. The second program, Git, is optional, but I recommend downloading it because it makes it easier to update the shading model in the future. Again, I'm not going to cover how to download it, but I will link another tutorial in the description. Once you've installed the programs, go to github.com and click sign up to create a new account, or if you already have one, just log into your account. Then head to Unreal Engine's website, make sure you're logged into your account, and go to Personal, the Connections tab, Accounts, and link your GitHub account with your Unreal Engine account. This will give you access to Unreal Engine source code that you can download and build, but I will show you how to build a different version of the source code that contains the shading model. So go to this link that I will leave in the description and click on code and copy this link. If you chose not to download Git, you can download it as a zip now instead of copying this link. Now you need to select a folder on your computer. Make sure it has a short path, because if it's too long you will get errors. If you downloaded the zip, just extract it here, but if you're using Git, open cmd and type this command, git clone, and then just paste the link here and press enter. I'm not going to do that because I already have it installed. Once it finished downloading or extracting, open the folder, and you need to click on setup.bat. I'm not going to do that because I already did it. It might take a few minutes, but when it's finished, click on generate project files. It will also take a little while, and then click on this solution file that will be created, and it will open up Visual Studio. After Visual Studio finished loading, make sure you have development editor selected here, Win64 here, unless you're using a different operating system, of course. Then right click UE4 here and set as a startup project, and then right click it again and hit build. This will take probably an hour or two depending on your computer, but once it's done you can just click this green button here and it will start your new Unreal Engine. Once you opened Unreal Engine, you can create a new project. I'm using the example project for this shader, and I'll show you how to use the shader itself. Create a new material, name it whatever you want, open the shader graph, and now you can see 4 new material properties that you can't use them at the moment because you're using the default shading model. Here you need to choose Toon. Now you can start using the shading model by first giving your material a base color. I'll make it red. The shadow color controls the shaded area. You probably want to pick a dark shade for it. I'll choose a dark shade of purple. The highlight color controls the color of the rim light and the specular. I'll pick a bright shade of orange for this. The specular is a single color that controls the offset of the shadow, specular, and rim light on the different RGB channels. The red channel controls the offset of the shadow, the green controls the specular, and the blue controls the rim light. Unfortunately, this little preview doesn't work, so if you want to look at your materials, you need to go to your scene and use the material on an object. Let's set the shadow offset to 0.65, and if I save it and go back, you can see that the shadow takes a little more space this time, and I can also add a specular by setting the specular offset to maybe 0.2. Yeah, this looks nice, and I'll set the rim light to 0.4 maybe. Yeah, I think this looks nice. Let's save it and see it in the scene. Okay. Now, the range is very similar to the offset. It's just a color that controls different things on different RGB channels. It controls the smoothness of the shadow, the specular, and the rim light. So if, for example, if we want the shadow to be smoother, we can set it to 0.5. And if I save the material now, you can see that the shadow color blends with the base color. Just like the shadow color, you can control the smoothness of the specular and the rim light. Let's make the specular as smooth as the shadow, and then the rim light just a little smooth. And yeah, that's our new material. If you're using the example project that I made, you don't need to go through all of that. You can just go to this material folder, Toon, and then you have this material that I already made for you, that you can make an instance of and edit values easier. So if I make a new material instance, I set the parent to Toon base. You can see that we have all of the values from the graph editor, but they're much easier to access and change. And that's it. I hope you like the shader, and I hope you managed to follow the tutorial. Bye!